Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to TST Radio. I am your host, Marcus Johnson. We're going to go and get started. The Les Miles era is over at LSU. He accounted for 114 wins, second most in history, one BCS championship back in 2007, two SEC championships, 2007 and 2011, and also he was the 2011 Coach of the Year, AP Coach of the Year. Les Miles has had a great career at LSU. He's been a great coach. He's won many games. He just lately struggled to produce championships. I mean, he's had a winning season every year for the past, I think, 11 seasons. Since the firing of Coach Miles, every coach in the SEC has changed the coach since Nick Saban's been at Alabama. I kind of think Nick Saban is setting standards here in the SEC. If you can't do better than Nick Saban, I think colleges and universities are kind of pushing you to a side. I know college football is a business or whatever, but I think they should have gave him another chance. I know they gave him a chance last year, but I think they should give him a chance to change the people around him because he's brought this program to what it is. He's the winningest coach LSU's ever had. So he put this program on his back and he got it to where it is now. So I think LSU should have gave him a little bit more time. If they was going to get rid of him this year, let him finish out the season. I think they should let him finish out the season. They act like the guy got blown out at Auburn. It was a great game by two SEC teams. You're not going to blow out Auburn. Auburn is not a pushover team. So I don't think that game should have made a decision whether he would get fired or not. Les Miles has broke silence since the firing, and I quote, he said, "I support the decision and these Tigers as we go forward." He also stated that he did feel that the Auburn game was the cause of his firing. Former players have spoken out, so has current players on Twitter. All had good remarks about Coach Miles. Matt Flynn was one of the former players to speak out. You know, he was the quarterback at LSU back in 2007 when they did win the BCS championship. So they all had great things to say about Coach Miles. Like I said, I feel like they should have gave him at least to the end of the season or to the middle of the season to make this decision on Coach Miles. He's done so much for this program. He's built this program. Five-star recruit Dalen Moses, he's kind of leaning towards Alabama now because of the firing of Coach Miles. That goes to show you that Coach Miles' name holds weight. It really holds weight at LSU. If you're losing five-star recruits, they're not coming. Look at it. They're not coming to your program because of your program. They're coming to your program because of what Les Miles has turned your program into. So that's why I feel like LSU owe him so much. He's built this program. He set standards for this program. He is the ideal. He done everything for this program. So, like I said, five-star recruits are not coming to LSU just because of LSU. Coach Miles played a big part in that, and that's why you're seeing five-star recruits wanting to go to other schools. You have a five-star linebacker that's looking to go to Alabama now because you have fired your coach. But hey, more power to him. Jimbo Fisher has been reported a target for LSU. They're looking, Jimbo Fisher has done a great job at Florida State. Jimbo Fisher has responded by saying, and I quote, "I'm here at Florida State. I love it here at Florida State, and we have a lot of work to do to get better here." It seems like Jimbo Fisher has no plans on leaving Florida State. He's had a lot of success at Florida State the last couple years. I don't think he's leaving. Tom Herman has been named another target for LSU. His name been thrown around a lot by analysts and experts. He's now the current coach at Houston University. Coach Herman did confirm, I think it was last night, or that he hasn't been in contact with LSU. They haven't spoken about him becoming the coach there at LSU. If I was Tom Herman, I would stay where I'm at. You're having a lot of success at Houston. You're making a lot of noise there at Houston. You got those boys on track. I feel like you can build something there at Houston. So if I was Tom Herman, I wouldn't even think about coming to LSU. I would stay at Houston, build that program from what you started, and I would go with that. I wouldn't leave my school from what I started. I just wouldn't do it because LSU, there's a lot of competition in the SEC, and for you to come off a great program and then go into something that you think you're going to have to rebuild, not saying that you don't have the recruits to just go right in and turn that program around. You have the resources, but that's not just going to happen. You got to be realistic. That's not going to happen. Like, people are expecting Georgia to be just this dynamic team this year. No, Kirby Smart's defense takes a lot of adjustments. It's pre-snap reads. Like, if they line up in one formation, you have to have somebody on the field to change that. It's complicated. It's complex. And so it's going to take some years to get that defense installed into Georgia. So that's going to be the same thing with Tom Herman coming to LSU. He's going to have to, come in and rebuild and set his standards and set how he wants things to go. Everybody's not just going to buy into that the first day he walks into LSU. So stay at Houston, build your program. You have something good there. You have great athletes. You got 5-star, 4-star athletes willing to come to your program. So stay there and build that program, I think. The university, LSU, the university has released a statement saying, and I quote, Les was fired because he couldn't adapt to meeting his own expectations of LSU's program. Like I said, I think if Les would have just changed his offensive coordinator, he go and get a offensive coordinator on the level of Lane Kiffin from the Pac-12 or Big Ten or something that's used to that fast-paced jet sweeps. If he would have went and got him a offensive coordinator of that caliber, and then let them take control of that offense, implement what he knows, put that into the offense, put it together, and I think that would have been a great combination. Not saying I don't know who that coach would have been. I'm not going to throw names out there, but I think if he would have got him a offensive coordinator that likes the spread, he likes the power, put it together, and you'll come out successful, I think. So that's, I think, the route that Les should have taken. A lot of people are saying that Les should have just left last year when he went through this, saying he should have just left with his dignity and just left. They think that he shouldn't even try to come back. He should have just left when there was the rumors about him being fired on last year. They felt like he should have just left then, left with his dignity, and not come back. Experts are saying Arkansas, USC should go after Les Miles. I don't think that Arkansas is going to go after him, even though they just got torched by Texas A&M. But I think their head coach is doing a pretty good job with building that program. Now USC, their program is kind of seeming to fall apart a little. They came into Bama, we beat them, and then I think they had the incident when the player swung on the coach or the referee, and they just been going downhill ever since the program. So Coach Miles is a great leader. He's a great ambassador. So I think if he would go to USC, I think that would be a good change for that program. I think he has the personality to come in and demand what his expectations of that program. You see how he changed LSU. He made LSU about him. When you said LSU, you thought of Coach Les Miles. So I think he could change that program around. He would get in USC, Pac-12. I think he could start bringing bigger recruits, SEC caliber recruits, bigger defensive linemen, bigger offensive linemen, and maybe get USC to that caliber of competing with the big boys. Getting them those type of 4-star, 5-star athletes coming out of high school so they can compete. Because a lot of those schools don't get the same caliber of athletes as a Alabama or LSU or a Texas A&M or Ohio State or a Michigan State, Wisconsin. Some teams don't get those recruits. So I think Les Miles would go to USC and bring that to USC, bring recruits in, just like how Urban Meyer did at Ohio State. Ohio State was down for a minute. Urban Meyer goes to Ohio State. He builds a team that almost looks like a SEC team. So, same thing Urban Meyer did at Ohio State, I think Les Miles could go and do at USC. But still, he would have to be open-minded on the offensive side of the ball, get him a good offensive coordinator. Don't be stubborn and let somebody with a different philosophy come in and implement that philosophy, and y'all combine their philosophies, and I think they will be successful. So USC, I think, would be a great spot for Coach Les Miles. I think so. We're gonna jump into some other college football. We're gonna jump into SEC experts poll for the week 5. At 1 is Alabama. Number 2, Texas A&M. Let me remind you, this is the SEC polls, not AP poll, SEC polls. Like I said, Alabama at number 1, Texas A&M at 2, Ole Miss at 3, Tennessee at 4, Florida at 5, Arkansas at 6, Auburn at 7, LSU at 8, Georgia at 9, and Mississippi State is at 10. I gave you the top 10. You can go on my page and find 11 through 15, 14, how many ever teams it is. You go on my page and find that there. Before we go, I want to remind you, Tuesday, that is tomorrow, we will be at Lagoon Park. Co-ed softball, slow pitch softball. We will be out there. I will be doing another highlight tape covering the league. So come out and support. They will have great food, great concessions are out there. If you don't want to stop at concessions, there's a gas station right up the road, right on the corner. They have a Subway around the corner, so it's a great location right on the Eastern Boulevard. I'm pretty sure you know where Lagoon Park is. So come out and watch some great softball, some great entertaining softball. I will be there on tomorrow night. I know this Friday we have Wetumpka versus Opelika. Opelika got knocked off. They've been the top dog for a couple weeks. They got knocked off this past weekend. I think it was by Oxford, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure you come out Friday. There'll be a big game for Wetumpka. I will be there again, also on the sidelines, covering the games, getting pictures, highlights, all that type of stuff for your enjoyment after the game. So make sure you come out, support your Indians, come out to Lagoon Park, support the ladies and gentlemen with the softball. Like I said, I will be there covering both. So come out, show your support. I am Marcus Johnson, your host of TST Radio. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support, and that's my time for today.